Good morning, everybody. Tuesday, September 23rd. It's my pleasure to call this meeting to order. So here we go, looking around. I don't see any visitors, but we do have a new face. I'm going to do a quick introduction to our latest member, Sarah.
Jazz Wachowski.
Jazz Wachowski, okay. Very nice. And for your benefit, we'll quickly go around the room, make quick intros. Thank everybody.
Ron Clip, the Hub Bicycle Company.
Okay.
Emerson Smith City Council. Liaison.
David Smith, own the CPA firm down the street. It's commercial property.
Randy Drillius, Webster Times.
Frank Romano, Madrina and Parkmore.
Brett Sudicum.
And Scott Davis, Deputy CEO.
Excellent. So, and it's just come to my attention, we actually now have a full commission. There was another individual who's applied and been approved,
Yes.
Madeline Weary of Happy on Press.
So she's on Old Orchard.
Little Archer.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
we don't have.
We still need
Yeah,
one more person.
I'm sorry. I got excited too.
Like, that's it. It's like, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
All righty then. All right, so we still have an open.
Yeah.
New participant. Would you like to introduce yourself?
I'll be glad to introduce myself, and I apologize for my tardiness. Was trying to take care of an issue next door with city clerk, but Jordan Rowe, I started last Monday as the new public affairs manager for the city. So first time I've been here, I've met a couple of folks at the table, and am very excited to be here and meet with Fran afterwards just to kind of talk through upcoming events. But yeah, may not know the answer to the questions right offhand, but we'll always find the answers, and am excited to be here and be supporting your work. So
Thanks for joining us, Jordan.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Will.
Nice. Moving on, you all got a copy of the minutes that have been circulated. Any questions, comments, or corrections? Maintain motion to approve. Move.
So move.
Second.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Minutes are approved. Moving into old business. Old Webster Jazz and Blues Fest. Who wants to talk about that? Mother Nature said a hard no. Right?
Was that hard now?
Did any, I heard some say, did any bands get off?
The high school jazz band played. And that's, I think, the only one. I'm not 100% sure though. And I was out of town, but I did hear they played.
So an unfortunate weather event did in that day early. So fortunate. I know a lot of effort goes into that, and there's no makeup date or anything, correct?
Correct.
So just punch until next year, okay?
I think that's the first time they've ever had to do that.
Yes, it is really.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of rain. Print.
A short period.
Yeah, his restaurant on Sunday. It's like picking up electric cables to get them out of the underwater.
Over the curb, and the power from the generators, their lines were in the gully, so we just put them on upside down buckets to get them.
No hazard there.
I'll show you.
Gravity wires underwater.
And a live generator.
And that's why it was canceled.
Okay, well, that is unfortunate, so hopefully we come back with a vengeance next year. Moving on, business district licensing revenue. Scott, I think last month there was some comments about some additional revenue expected.
Yes, I'm still trying to open that up because I'm running behind it today because I couldn't get that ready. So
Okay.
if you'll give me a
Yeah.
moment, maybe I'll come back and have an answer for you.
Okay,
here.
we'll skip on that and we'll skip on rooftop lighting as well.
Rooftop lighting is,
Or do you want to give your thoughts?
yeah, I have
Okay.
met with them last month. They did an inventory. They drove through at night and took an inventory of all the buildings that needed had lights on them already, but were currently out. So they're starting on those. They're going to get those lights up and running first before they go light new buildings. They have just finished up in Old Webster. Old Orchard, so they are ready to come up into Old Webster. We still have 1,000 bulbs and 750-foot string of lights and sockets to start with in Old Webster, and we'll be ordering more of those to finish up the project. There are a couple different types of lights in Old Webster. There's a bigger bulb and a somewhat smaller bulb. Does anybody know? Were all those put on with the district? Were some of those put on by individual businesses? Does
I
anybody
think
know?
everything has been put on by the district.
Okay.
I think the different size in bulbs was, this was going on forever ago. So older strands originally used an incandescent bulb.
Yeah.
And then slowly been going over to LED bulbs. And so definitely you could see size of light changes there.
Yeah.
LEDs are so much more efficient.
Yeah, the ones they pulled off were both LED, but they were,
Okay.
one of them was like the big C5 and the other one was like little tiny ones, about yay big. So before I bought replacement bulbs for those lights that are already on there, I wanted to kind of check to see if we wanted to. It would certainly be easier to replace the ones that are already there with the same size if the light strand was still working and it just needed new bulbs, or if we wanted to restrand everything so we had the same size consistently. Districts.
My thoughts are like, if you're gonna restrand, I would only restrand if the strands are showing
Bad.
bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And then for the electrical rewiring, if they're bad, like the hard wiring or plugs to the building. But the, replacement of the bulbs, I would look at whatever the price is, and I'm okay with the small bulbs. Like, no one sees the big, like the top of the Gorlock is, I think, C9s.
Yeah.
And they're all, you're trying to match that color back because they're so old. I don't think we'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
So I think replacing them all with uniform or whatever you got the most of. It's my thoughts.
Sure. We'll move that way. Okay.
Any other comments on rooftop lighting? Okay. Hearing that, we'll move on. Randy, Frank, parking signs.
Well, we have the sign here. I'm supposed to go, or I have an appointment to meet the A1 sign person on Thursday. I also know we're waiting on, I believe there's a street sign that's supposed to be also measured and put into the quote. Based on the last meeting, there was
I'll get you that measurement today.
and so once I have that measurement, I can let them know, but I'll still go out and meet with them to show them this so they can kind of get started. Or give us a time when they could get started and the quote and everything. So to reconfirm everything before they move on. And then we'll just need the artwork.
Yeah.
So
Get, if the sign company can measure the exact measurement and shoot that to Laura.
okay, so get a drawing, we'll illustrate
Yeah.
our work.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
AI file, and then she'll plug it in and
Okay,
modify it to fit.
excellent.
So hopefully by next month.
By the next
Well,
meeting, we should have the quote and hopefully some sort of time frame as well.
Very good. Any other questions on that? Okay, moving on. District pedestrian signs.
That's part of that same
We're all
quote.
same deal, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Any other? So next one on our old business, we've got window claim QR codes.
I did not get that sense.
So before you send it,
Yep.
in talking to graphics, I was talking to Laura Burns about it. She thinks that we need to have something that says like WG information or something else other than just the QR code. A lot of people are scared of just scanning QR codes that are randomly at places, so she's offered to graphic that up.
Yeah.
If Fran can send her the QR code, and then she can send it back to us to look at. She thinks that it has to have like the Webster Groves logo or information, something on that cling instead of just a random QR code. I got my case for it, and then she said, you really need to have something else other than just a random QR code. I said, okay.
I agree, because that's just like, if people would see that and be like, I'm just gonna go by and they'll slap theirs on the other side or
Yeah,
somewhere. And then
because
people will know the difference.
getting viruses, weird sites. But if you could send her the QR code and then she could probably turn that around quickly. It shouldn't add too much to our claim costs.
No, it should be the same price. Yeah, as long as it's one PNG or whatever file we want to upload it, same price.
So for this next month, update the design and get it to Scott. right?
Yeah.
Very good. Good, thank you for that. Next up, commission vacancies. We filled one of those spots. Again, just keep spreading the word. We have one more spot still. New business.
If you want to go back to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do have it up.
Get them back. To,
Sorry, I didn't get this printed out. So the 2025 actual business licenses for the old Webster taxing district currently sits at 56,431. So that's a bigger number than for sure.
And that's just business licenses.
That's business licenses, yeah.
And wasn't it 35
Yeah.
before
And that
or
was
something like that? Or-
29.
Oh, it went, okay.
You have a budgeted amount of 40,000 for this year, so that 50.
spend money.
So,
We might be able to pay for our sons now.
yeah.
Here we go.
So that's good.
It's encouraging.
Okay, good deal.
Total revenue of 106,337 for the actual 2025 fiscal budget.
And what was,
And your budget for this year at 87,000, so almost $20,000 over.
So that's good, but remember, we've been going down, and the reason it's higher, Scott, is because delinquent ones have been paying up.
Correct, yes.
All right, great. Okay, well,
Still
that,
likely we'd see a drop.
next year it'll drop back, hopefully back to that 40 range that we've been
Uh-huh.
expecting the last couple of years, so. But that's great news, and thank you.
and there was also a change for, if you get a liquor license, you have to be current on your business licenses.
Yeah,
They
that,
were able to close that loophole.
Good.
So some of our friends that had not been paying anything had to fork over the cash. And then we can find another way to
Get
anything
everything
else that we can get everybody else to continue to pay for their licensing.
Very good.
We'll think about
Scott, do you have a hand?
Turn off their
If
water.
anyone else has it on readily available, what you recall what our budgeted deficit was for the year?
For last year,
Or this upcoming year?
I can't, I'll have to just pull another.
Curious if that gets us to even.
For some
budgeting.
for some reason, I thought it did. I thought when we were down, we weren't down a huge amount. Remember?
Let me pull the expense report and I'll tell you here in just a sec.
I think we're gonna ask for $15,000 from this fund due to silence.
Rest with everybody watching and looking.
It's not us. It's them.
Let's see, your 25 actual expenses came in at 75,000 on. What did I just say? 100, you wrote down 103. I think it was. Times six.
106,337.
Revenue.
So that was 106 was your revenue, 75 was your expenses for last year. This year, your expenses are 132,000 estimated or budgeted on $87,000 worth of estimated revenue. So yeah, that, I mean, you'll put 25,000 back into your surplus budget account and be able to pull from that again this year without touching any of the CDs or anything like that, that are out there. So that'll be helpful.
Thank you for that. Anything else on licensing revenue? Questions, comments? Okay. New business? New business, EDC update. We don't have Tim here, so Brandy, you able to speak to
We
that?
just had the coffee last week. I thought it went very well. We had some new faces. Got an opportunity to meet a lot of the new city employees as well, the new deputy city managers, the new planning director. Jordan was there. But the Explore St. Louis folks gave a talk kind of talking about the neighborhood program, which they have greatly improved. Lots of opportunities, but they haven't changed the annual fee. It's still the same. So I thought it went well.
Good.
No, with Explore St. Louis we're just as the neighborhood, not as districts, right?
Right, in other words, the city buys the parent membership
Okay.
for the neighborhood,
For all
the
of
Webster Groves neighborhood. And then that allows each individual business to buy their membership at a discounted rate which is significantly. But they have added a lot more benefits to this than it was in the past. For example, one of the ones that I really think is cool is that they will do professional photos of your business to put on the website, and then they're yours. And there's no additional charge, but they will come out and do that. That's new.
So each business has to register on their own for it to sign up?
Yes, that's correct. And a lot of you are already registered. If you were before COVID, basically they just suspended sending out invoices. And they haven't, this is the first year since COVID that we're gonna send them out, but then they realized that they needed to kind of improve and make the program more robust. So you may be getting an electronic invoice, a lot of you, because a lot of you were already, if you're a restaurant or retail, more than likely, the ones that, any new businesses that have come along since then are not, because this is all, but we've been doing it for over a decade.
But does it cost money?
It costs $150 a year for the individual businesses. That's an
Okay.
annual fee. And that's the same.
That's where the boat shoot right there.
Easy. No kidding. That's why I was so excited to hear that. What they found was, because you can place photos on your individual listing, the idea is you sign on and you put whatever you want. You can even put events. They will also up the events and post them on their social media. That the photos that people were posting just weren't really good. It didn't do well. So they said, oh, forget this. It makes the whole site look terrible. We'll just take it on ourselves to send out a photographer. So that's what they're doing. Yeah, that alone is huge. But they're really focusing, they call what the leisure side of their business. In other words, they have found that a lot of the people that come into St. Louis from out of state, they want to get out of downtown. They want to see something local. So now in October 28th, there will be 100 of the individuals that man their concierge desks and their visitor centers that are talking to people. They will be in Old Webster because they're touring. They're taking you on a tour of some of the neighborhoods, about 100 of them on a couple of buses. They'll drive through all 3 business districts, but they're stopping at Old Webster and having lunch at Llewellyn's. And then they'll be giving an hour just to go around and talk to people. So if you had plans to have a big autumn display visually for Oktoberfest, or keep it up. Or if you're switching over to holidays already, make sure it's already up.
Sure,
They
they'll
done
be
that again?
snapping pictures
I'm
themselves.
sorry,
They don't.
the 28th of October.
Speaking of future stuff, what are the upcoming events for BDC? You said Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest is in Old Webster. That is the one day, like the 18th or 19th, it's a Saturday. Which one is a Saturday? The following weekend, Old Orchard is having a new event, their fall festival. And that's a 2-day event. That is also on that Saturday is when we have trick or treating All three districts will be doing that at the same time. So it's 3 to 5 on Saturday. There will be maps. Graphics have already been updated, all the maps have to be updated. Each district is doing their own graphics, but they're using Gene's software, so it's all the same. Crossroads is trying to expand on that because they have a lot more restaurant and retail than they have in the past, so they're trying to get their businesses more in to do some additional things. Somebody's talking about doing s'mores, another person, a new business that's going in also has a food truck. So they're talking possibly about doing something, and because it's an event, they can have a food truck in their district for an event. And then you jump into the holidays after that, because that's the last weekend in October. So if you want to go further, you've got
And
the holiday open house here in Old Webster in November.
November 9th, right?
Is
That's
it the ninth?
It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday.
Second Sunday.
And then you've got Girls' Night Out in December, which is a Thursday, like the 4th is the night.
Yeah. Holiday house, open house is
It's the
November
9th.
9th, correct.
Girls' Night Out is a Thursday in November. That's at Old Webster.
Or December, right?
Excuse me,
That's okay.
December.
Yeah.
I think it's like the 4th.
Don't have it on my calendar.
Okay.
Early to
But
say.
it's happening.
Old Orchard is having their holiday event on the first Saturday in December,
Mhm.
which is the same day that the chamber has Santa's on the Loose.
Is that the wrong?
Yes,
Okay.
early in the morning. Those are all the ones that I know about.
Very good. Thank you. What's going on? What the hell is this?
It's busy.
It is. Thank goodness. Good for retail. Any questions for Frank? Thank you, Frank. City update, Emerson.
All right, good morning, all those I haven't spoken to. Have a few updates. All this information is out on the website. There'll be a public hearing on the October 7th for the comprehensive plan. If you haven't had a chance to go out and look at it, please do. It is comprehensive. It's something that's going to take us into the next 10, 15, 20 years. I won't be around.
Yes, you.
But it is, I think it's very comprehensive and inclusive as well, all of the business districts in the city. Also on the website, you'll see there's a stormwater management plan. Also, that you can go out and take a look at that. You familiarize yourself with it. And the calendar for the mill and asphalt overlay project is out there, so you can be aware of that. And there's a survey out on the website about the Shady Creek Greenway survey. All of this going, everything is happening at the same time. So Scott is real busy. Also, just so you know, Douglas Manor has been shut down, boarded up. All the residents, tenants have been moved out. So I think they're going to turn it back over to the building owner sometime this week. It's a shame that we had to close the building down, but they had about 139
5 or something.
Yeah, of
Citations.
citations. We just refused to repair and didn't show up to any of the court dates. So that's the only options. And HUD has been supportive, I guess. They provided all the tenants with moving expenses first and last month rent in the next apartment. They got $300 for 3 months for just to get settled. And so the only thing that everybody wants to stay in Webster, unfortunately, there was nothing available in Webster. So it was 42 units, about 36 units, 42 units in the building, 36 families that were relocated. So that was a lot of our African American population in Webster Groves. It was already down to 2%, 3%, and this really want to drop it down even further. So, but that is, in case you hear anything on the news, don't believe it. Give me a call. I'll tell you what's really happening. Elliot Davis was out there last Saturday. He had no clue. Everything he said was wrong. Everything he said was wrong. So, but it was just so. Anyhow, so that was unfortunate that that happened. That. And my last item. Oh, council also approved the next tax rates what's coming year. They're out there on the website as well. Last item I have is that city council wants to remind the commissions specific about Fran. Fran's is a part-time employee by choice and by contract. So we want to make sure that the members be responsive to her request for agenda items. When she sent out those emails, we can get it back in, so she can be kept up to date. You know, the time she spent tracking people down, asking additional emails, all that good stuff is counted against her work hours. And then all of a sudden, I think we just used to Fran being here for so long that we just take advantage of it. And I say take advantage of it, but she is such a part-time. I think she knows about the RSVP doesn't work on, so, but anyhow, get some information back to it that will be here. But sometimes it saves us time. There's not going to be a quorum. There's no need to have a meeting. Respect her time. She don't come with last minute with things we put on the agenda, but she sends it out in a very timely order. So she can budget her time. All of us know that Fran is a fountain of knowledge about what's going on in these commissions. So, but she's not the liaison and she's not on the commission. So be respectful of that. So the staff and council liaison should be your first point of contact for questions or ideas rather than Fran. Proud to provide this dedicated support to the businesses, but to just want to make sure that we respect her time and we stay strategic with the commissions. And so I think everything I wrote a little bit more. So, any questions on that?
I have one question. How many residents, I know how many units were in Douglas Hill, how many residents were there that were displaced? I've heard all kinds of different numbers. I'm just like, if you have it.
No, don't know the total number. All I can tell you how many households are there. You know, fortunately, there were some households where grandma was taking care of the grandkids and they wasn't on the lease, you know, so it might have been on the contract, might have been one, but it might have been three. So I see. I've been working with HUD closely with this since March of this year. I had to guess, I would say at least about 150 to 175. And that's not counting. There were individuals that are paying market rate rent, not many. Some of them booked back in April, May. They stayed 2 months, didn't pay rent, they just left. So it'd be up to the landlord to kind of find it. So the tenants didn't want to, they just did not want. Because we were down to last Saturday before last, you know, just tell them you gotta get out. You know, not when I leave, that's gonna be it. Police is not gonna let you back in the building. And there were some individuals that their belongings will be tossed. So, yeah. It was a sad day. Elliot Davis said the city was putting all these residents out on the street. There was tenants' daughters said that, more should have been done. And if they were still in the building that Saturday, that means they didn't do what they needed to do to get the support from HUD. HUD did expand the plan until October 6th. So they had a few more days to get all the information they need in. So to get the funding, but that's going to be totally up to them. The ones that did not have housing picked out, HUD put them up in a hotel in North County, anywhere from 20 to 30 days. So some of them, at the end of that day, they want to get out of that hotel and go find them somewhere to live. And I'm more than positive they want to say that the city didn't do enough. So we did. So, that's all the updates I have.
Very good.
I've got two if I can.
Yes.
Tomorrow evening, we have a Prop W Ivy Crockett Park open house. It's at the Benny Gordon Rec Center from 5 to 7. Some of the things we're looking at in that park is a splash pad, spray ground, potentially new parking, new playgrounds, new refreshed court spaces. So we're looking for input on all that. That's good news. Bad news is you may have seen on our socials yesterday, the ice rink project hit a major snafu late last week. It was time to start making the ice to open up. Originally, we were supposed to open back up this Thursday. We've got, there's hundreds of refrigeration lines underneath the concrete, inside the concrete slab that cool that slab down to make the ice. One of those we believe is airlocked because we can't freeze about a 6-inch wide strip that goes all the way down the length of the ice. So they spent all weekend trying to get that airlock out of there. Tried to make ice again yesterday. We're still having the same problem. So we've actually turned off all the coolers, all the chillers and everything to raise the temperature back up. That glycol mix that's in there that cools it down flows more freely the higher the temperature is. So we're hoping if we raise the temperature, we can push those air bubbles out. It's a natural occurrence. It's hard to fill something up like that, get it 100% full. So it was always a known fact that you could have air and you always will. And usually over the next 2 months, we'd be slowly bleeding air off. But for some reason, that whole line seems to be airlocked. So we're hopeful over the next 48 hours with the raising temperatures. They're working around the clock. There's someone down there overnight, even last night, to try to bleed off that air. We can get that airlock out so we can lower the temperature. We can make ice and be open by sometime next week. It takes about 6 days to build ice once we can lower the temperature back down. So definitely affects our skating community. There's just not other ice rinks out there to go use. We had Little League games scheduled for this weekend. We got SLU hockey, college games scheduled for early next week. So it's going to affect actual games and times. It's not something we're looking forward to. So.
Well, one more announcement. With the stormwater management plan, council is creating the stormwater management advisory commission. So we're looking for candidates. There's candidates that have some type of history with that type of plan, so we can be very strategic in our picking. So it'll be 5 members and 2 alternates, I believe. So if you know them, ask them to them.
Frank, you have experience with flooding, right?
I do.
Elevate all buildings.
What kind of?
We did it in
skills
New Orleans.
set?
We
What kind of
elevated everything.
experience do I have?
I think that
We have all our products up.
Yeah.
Nothing's on the ground.
they're looking for engineers. What else? Scott?
Landscape architects, anybody that has some sort of,
Trades.
anything like that, but also lay members, just, somebody that's experienced flooding wouldn't be excellent. So we've had several folks offer services so far. We're still refining that plan and getting it up to start taking those applications here for the next week or 2.
And that's through the website.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments?
I have one more thing, and I should probably have done new business, so I apologize. But Dave and I yesterday went to the boards and commissions
Oh,
annual
yeah.
meeting.
Thank you, Ron.
Hmm?
Thanks for mentioning.
Yeah. And it was a lot about sunshine laws and when we can talk and when we can't. I'm gonna really boil it down to the bare minimum. It's when we're in a meeting, and we have a forum, this is when we can vote. If we are at a party and we're all together, we should not be talking about business stuff or any type of, hey, how are you going to vote on this next month? We don't really have as much of that as probably some other commissions do. That's the main gist of it. We should only be talking about city business when we have if there's a quorum. If there's Frank and I, that is not a quorum. So if there's four of us together, that's when we could be in violation of the sunshine law.
So we have subcommittees with 3 people or less, to talk through. And
You
do
can
that.
talk and
One of the things that they mentioned that is usually problematic, but don't all think about normally, is if there's an email out to the committee members. The recommendation is line copy the other members, so we aren't replying and essentially having a meeting. Inappropriate. So,
yeah, apply all. We don't want to do that.
and do make sure if you all do feel the need to send something out to the group, we pretty much always want to include Fran and is anyone else, just
Katie,
Katie,
yeah, right? Katie especially. Right.
Or me, so.
Yeah,
send it to us-
Scott as well.
Send it to a city email because then it's captured.
Trapped.
And if we get a sunshine request, then we can go pull the city email and show that this happened or this was said.
And be further, Emerson mentioned about being courteous of Fran's time and getting agenda items together. That's also one of the sunshine requirements, is to get our notice and agenda out in advance.
I just want to make sure I understand, because it seems like there'll be some weird times where that would be odd and hard to pull off. Like, so we're talking about streetlights for a few months and you were gonna walk and you were gonna maybe both go walk and check lights out. But that's part of
That's
the,
just 2 of us. That's not a quorum.
that's if there's a quorum.
Only a quorum.
Okay,
Only a
gotcha.
quorum. Us
Okay.
3 are together, not a quorum.
I got you.
Us 4.
You had
quorum.
me in.
Okay.
And then again, we can sit there and talk all we want. We just can't talk about how we're gonna vote or
Right, make a plan. You're right,
or hey, Frank, I think you really need to vote this way,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of thing is.
I got you. Okay. Yeah, man.
When that happens, it happens to city council. Sometimes the whole council is at some type of function. And people walk up to you, that tell you, once you put the items in the email to me.
Mhm.
And but if I've had people in the past, not here in city council, but when I was on board of education, they try to trap you into saying something.
Mhm.
And then next thing you know is I don't do those, that Facebook page, Councilman Smith said this.
Elliot Davis is at your front door.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. He had a beer in his hand, he said, such, you know.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You gotta be very careful. People get real slick with trying to push you into a position.
Thanks for sharing that, Ron. That was good.
Yeah.
Anything else? I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Before I do that, I want to let everybody know our next meeting is scheduled for October 28th at 8 a.m. Should get that on your calendar. And a motion to adjourn.
That's,
We're good?
we're good.
Sarah, you want a second now? You're on the bus.